Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me again today. I am Naomi Garcia of EJsFunCrafting, aka Mrs. Craft Lady, and I have another amazing interview for you today. This is Miss Courtney Brickner of the Crafty Brick.
Hello.
Welcome, Courtney.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Courtney, oh my goodness. First of all, thank you for coming, but I love your bubbly personality. I was telling you that before we started recording, and you just seem so happy. You just seem, is this like your everyday, is this just your personality? Tell us.
I mean, I would say I'm a pretty bubbly person. And I mean, obviously I have some days where I'm not feeling my best and, maybe feeling a little down, but majority of the time, I like to have stuff in my house that's very motivational that says like, always look for the silver lining and the glass is half full. Like I'm just an optimist. I like to find the good in every situation. So I don't know. I like to be happy and that's what I do. So yeah, me online is me.
That's great to hear because that's telling us, you're not pretending for us. You're not pretending for the pictures, but this is you. And it shows in your reels. We don't have control over the weather. We don't have control over other people or even how other people see us, but we have control over how we react. That's all that matters.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So speaking of that, and speaking of having things around you that make you happy and inspired, tell us about your creative journey, because I look on your page, your Instagram, and you have all these amazing ideas, and you tore out stairs recently. You're like, I'm redoing these stairs. This is what I'm going to do. Tell us about that.
It's just interesting. When I get an idea in my head, there is no stopping me because I just got to do it. I got to do it until it's done. And that day that I decided to do the stairs, that's something I had been thinking about doing for a long time, but I just got scared. I started to tear the carpet off and I was like, oh, there might be bad wood under there. I'm nervous. So I didn't do it. And then one day I just got inspired. I saw someone else post a reel about it. And I was like, let me go and do it right now. So I just started tearing the carpet off. And my husband came home that day and he's like, oh my gosh, what are we doing now? Like, he just knows. He knows. My kids know. Like, they're like, okay, mom's doing something else. Like last night, I don't know. I was painting this picture. I just had this idea. I always had the idea in my head of what exactly it's going to look like. I don't always know exactly how I'm going to get there to make it look like that, but I have the end goal in mind. So I had these pictures. I wanted to change them. So I was going to paint over the canvas. And I mean, it was an interesting process. So it was like, that's not quite working. So I added some more paint. My son came home and he was like, I'm not even going to ask. Like, he's like, it's another mom thing. And I'm like, I just do it. But I also just want my kids to know you can try things and they might not work. And even if they don't work, it's going to be okay. Like, just try it again. Like,
because it's your project and you do what you want with it, right?
Do what you want with it.
That is, and I like that. You mentioned, Stephen Covey. I'm one of those. I love these books, with 7 Habits, begin with the end in mind. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I know this is where I want to be.
This is where I want to be.
Yes. And that way you're not so irritated or thrown off if you're not going in a straight line to get there. It doesn't matter.
You have a plan anyway.
There you go. As long as you get there. As long as you get there. I might have some stops along the way I want to make, but I'm going to get there.
There's going to be some stops. Oh my goodness. There's going to be some stops and some things that you think are going to work a certain way and then they don't. And you're like, dang, that did not work out. So back to the drawing board and I'm going to try it again a different way. But I feel like you're learning all the time. I'm constantly learning what works and what doesn't. And just trying things. I mean, I'm not bored. I'm going to always be doing something. I'm not going to be bored.
There you go. I see. That's what I like. So you mentioned painting just now, and then we talked about your stairs. Tell us about the things you like to do. What are your because it's hard. I'm looking through and I see all these cool things. I'm like, I can't figure out what her main and I love it because you're not just pigeonholed into one thing. Tell us about all your creative things.
I just can't be pigeonholed into anything. Like, I like to do all kinds of stuff. The only thing I know that I actually don't really like to do is paper crafts. I don't really enjoy paper crafts. I feel like
I don't enjoy it.
I just don't. I've decided. I've tried them, and I realized I just don't really enjoy them. So I don't usually do paper crafts
Mhm.
because that's not what I like. I like painting. I
Mhm.
really enjoy sublimation like a lot.
Mhm.
I think that might be my favorite thing because the possibilities are just so wide of things you can create. Um, and you know, I enjoy working with vinyl and DIY stuff. I just like all kinds of different things. I just love creating. And
And
I
that's key.
always have. And I've
So
done all different kinds of jobs along the way in my life. But the
mhm.
one thing that I've always done, like maybe on the weekend, I would do a DIY project after work or something like that. So I've always come back to DIY and crafting. So it was just wonderful. Like I'm just so happy that when I opened the Crafty Brick, that
Mhm.
that entered my path because it never was as a living to do it. Like it was just something I did in my free time. But now
Right.
to do it like full time, I just love waking up. And seriously, like my mind just I lay in bed at night and I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And then I wake up and I'm like, I gotta go to work. I gotta get going. Like it's not a job. I mean, it's a job, but it's not work to me. It's enjoyable.
So how long has the Crafty Brick been in existence as it is now?
Um, It'll be 2 years next gosh, maybe this month. I think it might
Yay,
be this month.
congratulations.
Wow. Yeah.
Happy 2nd anniversary.
Thank you. I just yeah. Hmm.
So when you first opened the Crafty Brick, when you had it, what was your vision for it? What did you want it to be?
I mean, to be totally honest, I didn't even know if people were gonna buy anything. I was just like, I'm just gonna start it and
Mhm.
I'm gonna sell some earrings and some t-shirts and I'm gonna see if anybody buys any of it. And I was like, I hope they do. That would be great. And then like people started getting stuff, but then I also started
Uh-huh.
noticing that people weren't buying what I had in the shop. And I'm like, everybody wanted custom stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, because they would
Mhm.
ask me, hey, can you make this? And I'm like, I mean, internally, I'm like, I never done that before, but I mean, I think I can. So
Uh-huh.
I tell them, I'm like, yeah, I can make that. I can make that. And then I'm just doing all these new things that I haven't really done
Mhm.
before, but finding things that I really like. So I don't know. I had a vision just that I'm going to have a job that I really like doing,
Mhm.
and we're going to see where it goes. Like, I don't know. And then it
And
worked out.
and so where has it taken you then? So compared to 2 years ago, where are you now?
Oh man. Well, first of all, just confidence. Like I just feel like my confidence level has just grown exponentially. And I don't know, like I feel like prior to having the Crafty Brick and being on Instagram, I felt the need to be a certain way online and present
Mhm.
this certain perfectionism, I guess per se. And even in the beginning of Crafty Brick, there were some pictures I'm like, oh, I can't show that because that's not perfect. Like I can't tell anybody about that mess up. And as I've evolved, I just feel like I have gotten more confident and I feel like I can share, you know, some things don't go the right way all the time because I felt like I
Mm.
wanted people to know that because I started getting DMs and people were telling me, "Oh, I love your page. Oh, I aspire to be like you." And I'm like, "Whoa, I mean, I appreciate that, but I just want you to know first of all, it was a long journey to get here
Mhm.
and a lot of work and a lot of fails to get here. And second, everything isn't always great. Like I mess up just like you sometimes. So I felt like when I was getting those DMs, I kind of wanted to change a little bit and just let people
Mhm.
know I am normal. Like I am not, don't put me like way up here. I may have, more followers than you, but it's taken me such a long time to get there. It did
Mhm.
not happen overnight. Just I want people to know that it did not happen overnight.
That's an important message because and we say this a lot and we hear this a lot. Um, Instagram and the other social media platforms, we tend to we see what
People want you
they
to
want us
see.
to see. Right.
Mhm.
And so we have this perception and we don't know what's behind the camera. So I love that you really want people to see the real you and what's really going on. I mean, we have our private lives, but it's not all it's not all everything I touch is perfect. So the minute I do it.
No, definitely not. So yeah, I just really want people to see that. And I feel like doing it more that way is just more my way. And
Mm-hmm.
then I know when I come out in social media, whatever I'm doing, it just gives me confidence because I know it's all real. Like there's nothing fake about any of this. Like what you see is what you get. So it just makes it a happier place to be, you
That's
know?
amazing. That's amazing. So where does inspiration for you come from, Courtney?
Everywhere, everywhere. Like right now, I'm thinking Christmas. You know, I'm thinking ahead. I
Mm-hmm.
always start planning ahead for stuff, and I mean, I just got so many ideas already. Sometimes it's hard for me to grasp them all and
Yes.
make them happen because they're just floating around up there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta like get it together and pull some stuff and figure it out. But I don't know, like I get inspired by other people.
Mm-hmm.
I just like, one thing about reels that I get sucked in because you go to one song,
Mm-hmm.
look at the way that everyone does their little spin on that song, and I'm just like, I just love the creativity of everyone. Even though I am
Mm-hmm.
listening to this song 30 times, everyone's doing it differently, and I think that's
Right.
so cool. Put your own spin on it. So
Yeah.
I don't know, I find inspiration everywhere.
That's the best place to everywhere because we never know when it's going to strike. And if we're
Yeah.
not open to the idea that inspiration is everywhere, we won't realize when there's something calling us. And I love that. That is
And
so cool.
I'm taking notes sometimes when I'm out because I'll see something. I'm like, oh, I get an idea for something for later, and I've got to write it down so I don't forget.
So do you carry stuff with you, like a pencil, paper, or your phone,
Just
so you
my
can?
phone, my notes in my phone. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll take pictures of something, or yeah, I'll send
take
my kids
pictures
are like, Mom, who are you talking to? Talking to myself.
to myself to remind myself
I
later.
gotta tell myself. We can remind you, Mom. Nah, don't
No,
remind me.
yeah.
Oh, cool. So you mentioned your husband, you mentioned your kids. How do you balance Crafty Brick and you love what you do with being a mom and a wife?
It's so hard because I love what I
Hmm.
do. I just want to do it all the time. Like I just want to do it all
Yes.
the time.
Yes.
It's tough. Um,
Mhm.
but what I try my best is to cut off in the evening and not work in the evening. Um, and some days are better than others at doing that. So I am a work in progress.
But I
It's
bet your mind's always, regardless of where you physically stop, your mind is still involved the whole time, huh?
absolutely, but I try to shut it off. So I've been,
Hmm.
especially this summer, with the kids out of school, um, just it's very, very interesting the way, I don't know, God works for me. It's interesting because summer, it's when I'm really busy, it
Hmm.
seems like things or busy with the family. It seems like things slow down. And I feel like before that really would have bothered me because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not getting as many sales. This is not
Hmm.
good. This is terrible. But now I welcome it. I'm like, okay, this is just the season. Like it's slow, but it's slow because I got other stuff to do. Like I need to
Right.
go out with my daughter. I need to do these things. So it works out. And it's like right now, she's going back to school on Wednesday and she
Hmm.
for her first day. And I've got so many orders. Like it's like I haven't had this many orders at the same time all
Uh-huh.
summer. They've been spaced out over the summer, but not all at the same time. And I'm just like, wow, okay. I mean, I'm ready for it. So
Yeah.
bring it on. But it was nice because I didn't have to stress over the summer about
Yeah.
having too much. So I don't know. I'm a work in progress. I'm trying to balance in the evening and trying to turn off and be present. And just some days I'm better than others.
And I think that's the key, just going with it and keep progressing. We're
Yeah,
always working. All of us are always working toward whatever. We're never perfect. We're never, and just when we think we got it down, we got to make adjustments somewhere else. So
yep,
just keeping that progress going. Courtney,
yep.
thank you for your amazing interview. Thank you for taking time to sit down with us. And I know you got all those orders you got to do, so I'm not going to
I
take up
know,
any more of
right?
your time. But tell us, where can we find you and how can we support you?
Okay, I am on the Crafty Brick on everywhere. So I've got the Crafty Brick Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on there, but you're not gonna see much because TikTok doesn't love me like other people do. So like I feel like I try to put my time where I'm getting something back. So
Uh-huh.
just find me on Instagram mostly. And just support me just by watching my videos, liking, sharing. I really appreciate all that. I just love my community on my page, and I just appreciate everyone there.
Awesome. And we love and appreciate you as well. What about your shop? Where can we find your shop?
Actually, the craftybrick.com.
Thecraftybrick.com. You guys heard it. You guys, I'm going to put it in the comments. You guys saw it. Thank you, Courtney,
Thank
so much
you.
for being with us. And anyone, please go check out Courtney's pages. Like she said, Instagram is her place. That's where she likes to be. And
That's
she
where
be
I like
turning
to
out those
be.
reels. So go check her out. Give her a like, give her some follow, give her some love. Thank you for being here. And we'll see you all next time with the next interview. Have a good one.